But yeah, so let's get into my WWE RAW recap for this past Monday night. It was March 28th. It was held at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And this was the last Raw before WrestleMania 32. So this was the setup for people watching it to go, you know what? If you're not a member of the WWE Network yet, you watch this Raw, and at the end of it, they want you to say, you know, this WrestleMania looks like it's going to be awesome. I'm going to go sign up to the WWE Network. I'm going to get it for free the first month, and then I'm going to continue to pay $9.99 a month. Did Raw live up to it? No, not really. It wasn't a good Raw. It hasn't been a good 6 weeks since the Fastlane pay-per-view leading up to this WrestleMania. The Raws have been pretty weak. It hasn't been a good build. The matches themselves are kind of all over the place. You don't understand a lot of them. And I'm going to get into that also with my WrestleMania prediction video and talk here with you guys. So basically, let's get into Raw. Now, again, like I said, I've watched Raw. I watch Raw the next day on Hulu, so I get a condensed version of it. So I don't get to see. I don't see all the matches. I guess they cut the ones that aren't that important. You know, the important stuff out of it. They leave the meat of it in there. So some stuff, if you never hear me touch on it, it's because I might not have known it was on Raw, or I just bypassed it because it wasn't on my Hulu catch up, and I didn't feel like looking into it. But anyway, this is the Raw recap. March 28th, Brooklyn, New York. They start off, The Undertaker comes out. Okay, awesome. Always good to see The Undertaker. He comes out. He starts talking. He says that this will not be his last WrestleMania. So he's leaving the door open for next year. Let's see what happens. I always was hoping to see that Undertaker versus Sting WrestleMania match, but that's most likely not going to happen because I think Sting is going to announce his retirement at the WWE Hall of Fame induction that he gets, and that's because mainly he got injured during the Seth Rollins match he had, and you know, I guess he's realizing that he's older and he's ready to retire. But I really would have liked to have seen that Undertaker Sting match at WrestleMania. That would have been pretty damn cool. Never say never. It doesn't mean it can't happen, but you know, it doesn't look that way. So he comes out, then Shane comes out, here comes the money! Yeah, you hear that, he comes out, crowd pops, the crowd actually was so into this. They were into this more than they are their own Brooklyn Nets and New York Islanders, so that was a good sign. So they come out, they have a really good one-on-one. Again, though, I still don't understand why these two are wrestling. I don't understand it. Storyline-wise, it doesn't make sense. Why did Undertaker say, okay, I'll fight Shane for no apparent reason, just because Vince McMahon picked him? I don't get it. What is it? What's in it for the Undertaker to wrestle Shane McMahon? I don't know. And Shane McMahon, they built it up that he wants control of Raw, making you think that maybe they're gonna do a split squad because they have so many wrestlers on the roster. Maybe they're gonna do that split again and try to enhance and advance some of the wrestlers they have, give them more airtime. But does anybody think that Shane's going to beat The Undertaker? That's the problem. It's a very odd match. It's going to be in the Hell in the Cell, which should be really entertaining. Because one thing we know from Shane McMahon, and something I'm going to talk about that he did later in this little exchange, he will go balls to the wall, baby. He will put his body on the line. Always has, always will. And that's why I think a lot of people do like and respect Shane McMahon. Because when he got in there, he always did it perfectly. So they had some really good exchanges, and they start fighting. Undertaker starts beating the crap out of Shane outside the ring. Shane gets back at him, hits him with the TV monitor, gets him up on the table, and then he goes up for this awesome, fantastic, holy shit moment. He climbs to the top turnbuckle. Undertaker's laying out over the announce table, and he hits an elbow drop. But I mean, his elbow does hit the Undertaker. You see it plain as day. But I mean, Shane took most of that bump. He just smacked the table. Took most of that bump, and that was just incredible. I mean, this is a guy that is, older now. He's not in his 20s anymore. And I mean, he leaped from the top turnbuckle, and his whole body is the reason why that table broke. bash right through it. So it just makes you see things that come at WrestleMania. Hell in the Cell should be pretty damn intense. Should be intense. So we get through that, and then we come back, and it's Zack Ryder versus Chris Jericho. So I'm like, okay, I like Zack Ryder. I've said it. I'm a big Zack Ryder fan, especially being a kid of Long Island, especially Merrick, Long Island, where he grew up. So I'm a big Zack Ryder fan. But I'm like, okay, so he's not going to go over Chris Jericho, but that's cool. He's still wrestling Jericho on Raw. Match starts. Styles comes out, starts his taunting of Jericho. So Ryder and Jericho going back and forth. Styles starts getting involved and starts a Y2 Jackass chant. That distracts Jericho enough where Ryder gets the win, which I thought was awesome. Granted, he was not in the 6-man tag team match later on that night that involved 6 of the 7 participants in the Intercontinental ladder match at WrestleMania. But let's not skip over this. Zack Ryder pinned Chris Jericho on Monday Night Raw, the Raw before WrestleMania 32. That's big. That is, no matter how he got it, Zack Ryder pinned Chris Jericho. The fact that I just said that is fascinating. Zack Ryder pinned Chris Jericho the Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 32, when Zack Ryder will be wrestling in the Intercontinental title match in a ladder match at WrestleMania. That's impressive. So AJ and Y2J after that have an exchange of words, and Jericho accepts Styles' challenge at WrestleMania and says he will wrestle him. It'll be like his 12th time or whatever, and he's like, and it'll be your first, rookie. I mean, the guy's been around forever, but whatever. So that's cool. I can't wait to see Styles and Jericho. Hopefully, I was hoping maybe they give like a cool stipulation, like a 30-minute or like a 60-minute Iron Man match and let them really get it. That'd be awesome. But, I mean, they could add that. Who knows? It's Thursday morning, so Thursday night, SmackDown is still coming, so they could always make changes. Then we saw Charlotte come out and face Becky Lynch. Basic match. You know, Sasha Banks was on the table talking, commentary. Ric Flair got involved, distracted Lynch. Charlotte gets the win. Blah, blah, blah. They're getting ready for their triple threat Divas Championship match at WrestleMania. So that was status quo. It was what it was, just to get them, you know, in the picture. Then we get Triple H comes out, and he starts rambling on about how he was the most successful superstar. I don't understand. I understand that he's playing a character and he's portraying himself as like he was this great superstar, but he was never The Rock. He was never Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was never The Undertaker. Triple H was a very good wrestler, but he was never really that over with the WWE Universe. Yeah, he was in DX in the beginning. That was Shawn Michaels. You know, even after that, it was more of like the New Age Outlaws and X-Pac. Triple H was always good, but let's not face the facts that he's successful because he's banging and married the daughter of the owner of the WWE. Whatever. Reigns comes out. He gets booed out of the building. It's horrendous. I mean, they are less than a week from WrestleMania, and their face, quote unquote face, going up against a champion who's supposed to be heel. Their face, Roman Reigns, is continuously getting booed out of the building. This was horrendous, and it's not going to be a pretty sight at WrestleMania. Then we get the New Day. The New Day comes out. They are so over, and if you see, you can't see on the podcast, I'm taping this also for the YouTube channel. I am wearing my New Day shirt, which is awesome. But New Day comes out. They are so over. They are probably one of the most over things in the WWE right now. They come out. They cut their little promo, and it goes, League of Nations comes out, and it's going to be Kofi against Alberto Del Rio. Good match. It was actually a very good match. Kofi wins, which was awesome. Then Jonathan Coachman from ESPN, who used to be a WWE announcer and stuff, comes out and says that ESPN will be covering some of WrestleMania. Who cares? SportsCenter and ESPN is garbage anyway. But he comes out, he does a little dance with the New Day. That was pretty cool. Whatever. Who cares? Then they show Reigns in the back, and my God, the boo birds were out again, and he gets booed right out of the building once again. Just booed like crazy. Bubba Ray Dudley comes out, confronts him, kind of goats him into following him. He does, and then he gets jumped by Devon and Triple H. And then Triple H beats him up. Who cares? Whatever. It's the second segment of just pure garbage that no one cares about. And the fact that this match, Triple H and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, could possibly be the main event, and probably will be the main event, is I hope they have an ending planned. Something different, someone else. Maybe Seth Rollins returns. I don't know, but holy mackerel, this is going to be a horrible match. Just horrible. Then we get more talking. Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out. Heyman's great as always on the mic. He builds up the match. Then out of nowhere, Dean comes out with a wagon. He starts loading it up with a bunch of bunch of different weapons and stuff to use in their street match at WrestleMania. It was an okay spot. It was funny, but then realistically, you think they're in New York. WrestleMania's in Texas. He's leaving with this wagon full of stuff. He's not getting that on the airplane. So, is he walking to Texas? Anyway, then we get the 6-man tag team match of 6 of the 7 participants that are going to be in the Intercontinental title ladder match at WrestleMania. We have Kevin Owens, Stardust, and Miz versus Dolph Ziggler, Sin Cara, and Sami Zayn. The Zayn team of Ziggler and Sin Cara, they win. It was weird. The match was okay. It wasn't that bad, but the audience was not into it. In the middle of the match, you had a "This is booty" chant. So you had "This is booty, this is booty," which was funny. Shows you how over the New Day is, because this is kind of like how over like someone like Steve Austin back in the day was when he started his "What" chant, and it's still going on today. Kind of like Daniel Bryan, when everybody asks a question that has something to do with yes, or they want to say yes, it's yes, yes, no matter if Daniel Bryan is even involved in it. Now New Day's getting into that territory. So, it's a new day. Yes, it is. So they started "This is booty" chant, which was out of nowhere and kind of funny. I could swear I heard a CM Punk chant. There was also a New Day Rocks chant. And Zayn got the pin. You know, Sami Zayn got the pin. He wins it. But the fascinating thing was that they have 6 superstars. The Intercontinental Champion, Owens. Stardust and Miz. No one... unfortunately, no one cares. Same with Sin Cara. Ziggler's kind of lost. Sami Zayn is kind of cool to see because he's back, he's from NXT and it looks like he's finally got his push and he's going to be on the WWE roster. But the fact that there was a "This is booty" chant, a New Day Rocks chant, and I could swear I heard a CM Punk chant, that's very alarming for the WWE. For 6 of your participants that are going to be in your Intercontinental title match. Then we get the third segment of Stephanie McMahon and Triple H again. And at this point, I was ready to fucking hang myself. Because the more and more they come out and talk, the more and more I just want to shut it off. But, I stick it through. So we get, it comes out, blah, blah, blah. Steph's talking about how they're rich, they're powerful. I'm sitting there going, well, you're only rich because, you came out of your dad's sack. So that's why you're rich. And the only reason Triple H is rich and powerful is because he's banging the daughter that came out of the sack of Vince McMahon and emptied his sack. So, it's just like a bunch of rich, powerful people bragging about their money and their power, but neither one of them did anything to build that off. If anyone has the right to brag, it'd be Vince McMahon, because he did take the WWF from his father and turn it into the world wrestling entertainment that we have now, a global phenomenon, and kind of changed the whole world of sports entertainment. So he has reason to gloat. You two, not so much. But I get it. It's their characters. Whatever. Who cares? Reigns comes out. The boos got even louder this time. Louder when he came out. It is not good. WrestleMania 32. This championship match is going to be... I'm very interested to see what happens. Very interested. The only cool thing that came out of this was a cool spot where a bunch of bad guys came out to help Triple H, and some good guys came out to help Reigns. But all the bad guys were kind of outside, all the heels. And Reigns ran and did kind of like an Usos jump over the top rope and landed on them. That was kind of cool because it was something different that you don't really see from him on an everyday basis. That was cool, but otherwise it was just shit. That's how the show ended. A very weak show going into WrestleMania 32. If any of the audience that was in Brooklyn is any indication of what we should expect in Texas at WrestleMania 32, it's going to be bad news. You could basically look at it that the only person that will be over, the only group that will be over, will be most definitely The New Day, Shane McMahon, The Undertaker, and of course Brock and Dean. That's it. It doesn't look like the audience is interested in anybody else, and that's not a good thing for the WWE. So that was the recap of Monday Night Raw.